Hey guys, Grizzly here, and welcome back to another Shadow Era commentary. So, coincidence of coincidences, it looks like this is going to be another Boris vs. Majaya match. So, we'll see if this one turns out more, differently from the last one. We see Boris start out with a strong Christopher Wild. I mean, a nice 1-1 haste monster on his first turn, gets him some early damage, plus it gives him a field presence immediately. So, starting out with a Christopher Wild or a Fire Snake is a great way to start the game. It gives you that immediate edge over the opponent, even if it's a small one. And we see Majaya can't get anything out to counter it, which means that Christopher has another turn of free reign. So going first and getting out that early monster is just a double threat kind of deal. We see Christopher attack again, bringing Majaya down to 24 already. So I hope we're going to see the same intensity throughout the entire game. I have to tell you, when I was looking through the list a couple minutes ago, it was pretty slim pickings. There really weren't a lot of matches to choose from. So this one's pretty good. The players are rated pretty well, so I think this is going to be a good match. We see Deathmage Thaddeus hit the field and take out Christopher Wild. It is Deathmage, of course, being a 0/4 cost 3, who deals magic damage rather than just directly attacking. So his special ability of when he's summoned, dealing 1 damage to either an ally or a hero, using it to just wipe out that Christopher Wild. We see Boris using Blood Frenzy, a good draw engine booster. It does come at the cost of 1 health per turn, but having to give up 1 health to get that 1 extra card is well worth it. That 1 health does add up, but at the same time, it really gives him an unstoppable edge. So we see Majaya throw down an Infernal Gargoyle, and if you watch the last game, that was the card that the last Majaya won with. So we'll have to see if this Majaya is going to get as fortunate as the last one. We see Priest the Light go down. Good lord, this is like deja vu. We see Boris throwing down his ability, using it to kill the Infernal Gargoyle. Definitely a solid choice. He does still have that Deathmage Thaddeus to contend with, but at the same time, Infernal Gargoyle with that damage reduction is just a volatile force. Lightning Strike goes down. It's going to take out that Priest of the Light and deal 3 damage to Boris Skullcrusher. And now Deathmage is free to attack Boris himself instead of having to waste time with the Priest. So that's good news. Alright, so moving into the next turn, Boris now at a disadvantage. Man, is this a deja vu kind of deal? History repeats itself, man, no kidding. But, we'll have to see. I'm hoping that Boris is going to pull something out of here. Alright, so we see Adon the Brave go down. It's a decent counter to Deathmage. The Deathmage will not be able to kill Adon in 1 turn. I'm sorry, guys. I have no idea why my alarm just went off, but it did, so sorry about that. That was weird. Okay, so back to the game. So Adon, I think he'll prove an able counter to Deathmage. The problem is, I forgot Majaya now has enough energy for her special ability, which means that Adon is going bye-bye. So at this point, it looks like Majaya is playing that familiar game of whack-a-mole that we see all the time in Shadow Era, where a player will keep trying to summon monsters, and the other player just suppresses them. It's a strategy that I'm a big fan of when I play my Boris deck, of just, constantly keeping the opponent on the ropes while you just, deal damage when you can. However, Aeon Stormcaller is going to bring that game of whack-a-mole to a dead halt. Aeon Stormcaller is more than strong enough to weather the attacks of Deathmage Thaddeus, so Majaya is going to have to answer with something equally powerful, or Boris is looking at bringing something of his own. We do see a Molten Destroyer hit the field. That is going to be a rough gig for Boris to counter. Molten Destroyer is a 4/5, and he sets anything that goes into combat with him ablaze. So, the second Aeon attacks or defends from him, he's going to take 1 damage per turn. He'll only last 2 turns against the Molten Destroyer. An excellent use of retreat on that Molten Destroyer, sending it back to Majaya's hand, stopping its usefulness. Then we see Adon the Brave go down, and Aeon Stormcaller will be able to buff Adon the Brave as much as he wants. We see Aeon Stormcaller has enough attack power with that Adon the Brave buff on his side. So, pretty dramatic turn right there. However, I think we are going to see Molten Destroyer come back out on the field in a second here. Nope, Fireball is going to deal Boris some damage. So it looks like Majaya is going for the quick kill now. And with Boris only at 10 health, that might be the best option she has. Pretty dramatic counter from Boris. I mean, we have a nice game turnaround here. That combination of Aeon the Brave and Aeon Stormcaller is going to be really tough to tackle. I think we're going to see Aeon buff Aeon from here on out, unless we get a different monster on the field. So that Aeon's going to get stronger every turn, and Majaya just is not going to have the firepower right now. Does not have the firepower right now to take them out. But, you know, I've seen stranger things happen than a turnaround at this point. However, I think Raven Wildheart might have just sealed the fate of Majaya, unless she has something that can take out everybody on the field in one turn. And now we're going to see Aeon and Aeon attack, and Boris does not have enough firepower to take her out next turn, but it'll only be a turn after that before she dies. Now Boris is losing 1 health per turn, so if she could get a couple good damage dealers, like a couple fireballs or a couple lightning strikes, she could potentially take him out just with direct damage cards. There is that lightning strike that I mentioned. It's going to bring Aeon down to 5 and Boris down to 6. So Boris only has 6 life left, and don't forget Blood Frenzy is taxing him every turn. If she gets lucky and gets a good enough direct damage card like a Supernova, this game will be over. So at this point, I think Majaya is kind of just betting on the luck of the draw, while Boris needs to do what he can to finish her off. Now he has, right now, 12 attack power on his side. When he uses Aeon's ability, he'll buff up Raven Wildheart or Aeon, so he'll be up to 13 attack power. So, like I said, he won't be able to finish her this turn, but next turn, he will, and I think that is going to seal it. He does cast Enrage, which is going to give him 10 health, unless Majaya can come out with something that can destroy that Enrage. I don't see this game ending any other way. We see Aeon attack, we're going to see Aeon attack, and then we just got Raven Wildheart attacking. Majaya's down to 3 health after this. So, you know, I think it's all over but the crying at this point. I just don't think Majaya will be able to do anything to stop this. I think we're just going to see her quickly end her turn. She might deal some damage to Aeon with her special ability. She uses a Tome of Knowledge to draw a card. I don't know what she's looking for. Nothing could help her at this point. She has so little health that even like a Supernova... She actually Supernovas and kills herself. So she suicides. Alright, well, going out, you know, her own way. So a good game from both players. I'm glad to see that game ended differently from the last one. It would have been boring if it went the same way. Yeah, I'd like to thank both players for a well-played game. I want to, as always, thank Wulven for creating such an awesome card game for me to talk about. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and check out my other video series, A Noob's Journey. And other than that, I will see you guys next time.